afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page, look us up, and hit see first to see and hear all the great programs that we have here on WNHHLP. And just a reminder, Cannabis Corner is also streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook page and ProCannabisMedia.com. Welcome, everyone. It is Monday, June the 30th, the last day of June 2025. Welcome to Cannabis Corner. I am your host, Joe LaChance, Joe the Weed Guy. Uncle Lou is not here right now. He may join us later, but I'm sure he's taking care of dispensary business, trying to get his cultivation facility up and running. That is his latest project. So got to give him time to do that because we definitely need better meds and better products out there. And hopefully I know Uncle Lou will be putting those out because I know what his plans are. So, got to cut him a break. Maybe the show's not a big priority for him right now, but that's okay. I'm here, we're here, and we're going to talk about cannabis. So, I wanted to get into this right away because tomorrow is July the 1st. And if for those of you who don't know, on July the 1st, usually, or October the 1st, all new laws go into effect that were passed this session. And of course, the legislature decided to mess around with cannabis again. So here's the latest and greatest. Thank you to CCSBA for putting this out in a clear and concise manner so that we can see what is going on with this. All right, so I'm going to even share this screen so you can see it. But I just want to go over this real quick. So here's what's changing. The State Enforcement Task Force was launched. They're going to crack down on unlicensed sellers and illegal THC, and they're coordinating the enforcement statewide with municipalities and offering them incentives to work with them and to arrest mostly smoke shop operators, but they are looking at anybody who is selling cannabis without a license. That's all they care about. You pay them their fee and you could sell. But of course, their fee is not reasonable enough for anybody who actually knows anything about cannabis, who actually could make a difference, to get involved. But we'll go with that. Stricter penalties. Yes, they're talking about a $30,000 penalty for selling to under 21. And it is now a felony, not a fine. If you sell synthetic cannabinoids, this would be the Delta 8, HHC, and all those fun little things. You are going to get major fines of at least $2,500 per offense. Lovely. New traffic stop rules. No more stops for broken lights or expired tags. Isn't that nice? But yes, if you smell like weed, they can legally search your car. Now, this one really sticks in my craw, as us old people say, because that was something we fought hard for during the fight for legalization. We got it in there that the smell could not be used as a form for search. And of course, they, 5 years later, decided to take it out. Typical state of Connecticut. You love this fascist state we live in. Retail crackdown. Vape and smoke shops are on high alert. Unlicensed operators face immediate enforcement. Grower expansion. These are some positive things. Licensed cultivators can now set up their cultivation facility outside a DEIA, and that's the diversity influenced areas. New pathways for social equity partnerships. Hemp and THC products update. Hemp products with 0.5 to 0.5 to 0.5 milligrams of THC can now only be sold by licensed cannabis retailers. But of course, the liquor stores can sell the 0.3. Why not? Potency caps were raised. That will go into effect on October 1st. Cannabis flower in the dispensaries is now allowed up to 35% THC. And the other cannabis products, such as vape pens and concentrates, are now capped at 70%. Good thing for the hybrid dispensaries now, they are only need a pharmacist on site 8 hours a week instead of every day, which will save them a lot of money because a lot of people don't utilize the pharmacist for the consulting anymore. And it is a big expense. And with the way that Connecticut has ruined the medical program and totally destroyed it, there's no business really for medical or hybrid dispensaries. It's the justification for a pharmacist's salary just isn't there. People are not going to be able to stay in business if they have to continue to pay that. So that was a positive thing. I know a lot of people didn't like it. For me personally, I think it will help. Micro cultivators can now apply for a retail or a hybrid license. Okay, good for them. All right, so they got new for operators the cultivation to micro conversion program. Section 149 provisional license holders may now convert to a micro cultivator status, must include an equity joint venture or meet certain size limitation. Conversion reduces licensing fees. So if you convert to a micro, then you can reduce your licensing fees. Licensed cannabis transporters can now store product up to 30 days. That's good. Must follow DCP record keeping and storage applies to both intermediary and long haul logistics providers. All licensed cannabis must have a QR code. QR code must link to the official DCP license verification. Non-compliance may result in citations. New Cannabis Control Division. Yay, yay, the CCD, the Cannabis Control Division. We just need another agency to oversee cannabis. That's just what we need. More bureaucracy, more red tape. Now you got the DCP and the Cannabis Control Division. You got an ombudsman. You got all kinds of different enforcement things. That's just what we need. Free the plant, enforce it more. Right. That's legalization in Connecticut. Now for the THC beverage. High THC beverages, that won't go into effect till January 1st, are allowed, new licenses allows production of high THC beverages. Out-of-state sales only in the first phase. So you can make them here, but you can't sell them here. You can sell them in other states. No in-state beverage retail until future legislation. So that's for high THC beverages. And the municipal seizure, local governments can now seize unlicensed cannabis. Fines and assets retained at the municipal level. So see, that's what I was talking about before. They're going to keep all the fines. That really encourages them to snitch people out. And it encourages low-level crackdowns. So this is the state we're living in here in Connecticut. It's lovely. It is just lovely. You know, I was talking to some people this weekend at the Burn and Learn Festival, which, by the way, was an awesome time. I had a great time there. It was the Burn and Learn's backyard barbecue at the Holy Ghost Park. And I was talking to some people there who are members of the Canna Warriors, people I've worked with in activism in the past. And we're kind of thinking that this current administration is almost worse than D'Agostino's regime over there for some reason. I don't know, but the laws that they put in seem highly influenced by possible Republicans, actually. A lot of these laws are some of the stuff that they've wanted for a while. So I'm just wondering, you know, what's going on with the legislator up there? Are there any? I mean, I know MJ Shannon's a pro-cannabis guy. Are there any pro-cannabis people there, or is everybody just about making money and enforcing over-regulated laws? They're just trying to keep the small guy out of the business, make it controlled by corporate, you know, and what they've done is totally ruined the Connecticut uh, cannabis adult use market, and in the process ruin the medical. So they wonder why people go up to Massachusetts. They wonder why people want to grow more of their own. And by the way, one of the things that did not go through this year was they did want to cut our plant count down to 3. Isn't that lovely? So you know, we live in a really screwed up state, and I think it's up to us as the people to stand up for our rights and not only go after the legislators for what they've been doing, but the governor is up for reelection. We know the people who want to be elected in his place, William Tong and Weissowitz, those people there. And we know their stand on cannabis. So, you often wonder, would an independent candidate, or maybe, I hate to say it, even a Republican, do better than what that we have been done? Because, everybody likes to play politics and blame one side. But make this clear 100%. It was the Democratic Party that put in all these rules and regulations. I want to make this clear. This was not, while they may have had some influence, this was all Democrats who did this and took away your rights. And I'm not a partisan person. I do not join any party because I hate the government, no matter who's running it. But I really think that you ought to relook your stance there. If you're supporting this party and you're a cannabis user, they have not done you right. They have not done you right at all. And maybe I'll look into an independent. Maybe us as cannabis people ought to put up our own freaking candidate. How about that? Not me. I got too many skeletons in the closet. But you never know. Maybe we should do that. But there's got to be a change. And for now, I think we all got to just keep doing what we're doing. Do as much civil disobedience as possible. Remember, this is a plant. This came from God, not from the state. They did not create this plant. This has been around for thousands of years, and people have been using it for medicine for years and for industrial use. And we're not going to stop. So no matter what the government says, no matter what laws are in place, we are cannabis users. We know the value of this plant, and we are going to continue to use it no matter what. We are going to continue to grow it no matter what, and we are going to continue to exchange it amongst ourselves no matter what. So, and this was happening long before legalization. I mean, people think that, oh, you become legalized recreational in the state, all of a sudden everybody's going to go to the dispensaries. Well, they might if you had decent prices, if you had decent product, if you didn't tax the crap out of it. A nice drive up to Mass is always good. Even New York, Maine, what a beautiful drive on a Sunday. Oh, take the weekend off, go up to Maine. You'd be surprised at what you can get. And that's the problem. Lack of products, lack of quality, lack of THC content. I mean, these gummies they sell? I would have to eat a whole pack of those gummies to even feel any effect. And then I would get sick from the sugar, probably puke, and have some kind of diabetic effect. I don't freaking know. But anyway, state's got to get it together. People are going to smoke. People are going to grow. People are going to do what they want no matter what you say. So if you want to make money off this plant and really have a good, thriving industry, you better rethink your thought process here, because the way you're going at it is you're not making any friends and you're not bringing any business, certainly, into your dispensaries. And this hurts friends of mine. A lot of my friends, a couple of my friends, Lou and Kieber, they own dispensaries, and they are struggling because they have to sell crap. And both of them have licenses, cultivation, and they just have to get up and going. But I know both of them do not like to have to sell what they sell. But they wanted to get into the legal market. They had a point to prove. It was something they had dreamed of. They made their dreams come true. And now the state is stepping all over their dreams. We need to support our friends in the industry. Go buy pre-roll, even if, there are a couple of good products out there, I will say. Not a ton. But support them in any way you can. That's all I'm going to say. All right, for now, let's go into events. All right, so this Wednesday, July the 2nd, we're doing a clone adoption event in conjunction with Burn and Learn and the Grove, down at the Grove in Milford. That is on 158 Bridgeport Avenue. Starts at 6. It goes from 6 to 8. I will be down there talking to people about plants and adopting plants and how they can grow better at home. So that should be fun. So come on down. If you haven't gotten your garden started, you can still get it going. Please come down. That's Wednesday the 2nd. All right. And then Where is my little pad with all my events on it? Okay. Then we have July the 9th. There's a spell jar, manifestation spell jar. I don't know what that is, but I think it's got something to do with an actual a jar that you put together. You can put your cannabis in it, and you bless it. It sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like it could be cool. Contact Duncan at Better Ways if you want to know a little bit more about that. That's the 9th. That starts at 6:30 p.m. Not a lot going on this weekend. It's 4th of July, so there's not a lot of cannabis events going on. So these are all for like next week. Then we have on July 10th, the CCSBA in-person meetup, which is a great place for you to come and network and meet other small business owners in the cannabis space. And this is open to the public, so if you're not a member and you want to learn more about the organization, join. I am a board member of there, and I'm proud to be a member of the CCSBA. We have helped a lot of people get their businesses started and keep them going, and we are there as a support for small businesses. I want people to know this is for small businesses in the cannabis space. Ancillary growers, grow stores, anybody who's in the business with a small business should definitely join up. So you can find out more information about that on the CCSBA website. That is July the 10th at Metatron Home Grow, and that starts at 6 p.m. That's in Meriden, Connecticut. Then July the 12th, our good friends over at Rolling Stoners in Prospect, they are having an event, Rolling Stoners 11. For those of you who don't know, the Rolling Stoners are a cannabis-friendly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu company. And so what they do is they put on matches. They have, really good. If you've never seen Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's really cool fighting. And they're cannabis friendly. They have vendors there, a lot of CBD products. It's a great place to go hang out, watch some good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's in the afternoon. It starts at the doors open at 3. Starts at 4:30. Those guys are great. We've had them on the show before. If that's stuff you're interested in, you should definitely go check them out. Then on the 13th, we have an event called Elevate and Thrive, and we'll be having them on the air next week, which is basically a cannabis wellness event. There will be Canna Yoga there. Uzma Zakir will be there with her products. There will be massage there, all kinds of different things for wellness and cannabis, and it's called Elevate and Thrive. That will be on the 13th, and that is at the Trinity Health Stadium. Goes from 11 to 4:20. You want to check out those, check that out. You can check out their info on Facebook or Instagram. That's July 13th. I know I will be there, so that should be a good, fun event. Then on July the 19th, we have the Connecticut hike up at Indian Wells. So Connecticut, for those of you who don't know, do a lot of cannabis-themed outdoor events. They're doing a kayaking event at the end of the month, and we're going to have Kevin on the air in a couple of weeks to talk about that, the kayaking and all the different stuff Connecticut has been going on. They're another one, a member of the CCSBA. They are a small business, ancillary business in Connecticut. So they should be supported. They're putting on great events, outdoor, get out there, get out in the sun, hike with your friends and get high. It's a lot of fun. So check that out at the Connecticut website. And then we got they're doing a hike on the 19th at Indian Wells, and then on 19th also in the afternoon after the hike, from 3 to 7 down at the Grove is a mushrooms and meditation event. So it's psychedelic self-care. That's with Dr. Aaron Doolittle. I'll be down there as well. That's the 19th. Mushrooms and meditation, psychedelic self-care. So that's what's going on over the next couple of weeks. If you have an event you want to share it with us, please hit us up on Instagram. Just send us the graphics. We'll share them out there because we always want to support all the local cannabis events. And of course, there's always little small local events going on that you got to check out, private things. You can find all them on Instagram. I don't like to promote them live on the air here. But right now, our guests have arrived, but they are sideways. I need them to turn their camera so I can see them in the right way. So right now we have with us, we have Eric Afonso is joining us right now. I think only Eric is with us right now. Eric, are you the only one with us? All right, Eric is the only one with us right now. The rest of the crew will probably be in there in a minute. So for right now, we got Eric. Eric, Eric is one of the owners of the Lifestyle slash Mr. Nice Guy hydroponics store. It's a full service cultivation providing everything you need for cannabis growing, from seed to THC testing. We offer one on one consulting to guide you through the cultivation process and supplies a wide range of essential products, including grow lights, nutrients, soil, grow tents, and harvest gear. Whether you're looking to get started with propagation or need advanced testing, we ensure that you have the tools to do that, to get started with cannabis cultivation. Eric, how are you today? You're muted. The crew is here. I see that you're muted right now. Can you unmute? All right, so we got Eric, Nick, and Alex. Who is with us today? You're muted. Mute. Unmute. Unmute. We can't hear you. Unmute. There you go. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, we're not the high techs over here.
I know you are the high tech, I think. Yeah. I think you are high tech. Yeah. You're high.
my bad, brother. When it comes to all that technology stuff, that's where I lack a little bit.
It's all good. It's all good. It's a learning curve. You know how it is. I do it every week, so I'm used to it. But anyway, guys, how are you today?
Good. That's not bad. How about yourself?
Good. Who we got? We got Eric, and who's with you?
Yeah, this is I'm Eric. We got Nick from the Nice Guys. We got Alex from Lifestyles and Nice Guys.
All right, so we got a three-way going on here. Okay, very cool. All right. So let's talk about the Mr. Nice Guy hydroponics. First of all, where are you guys located? You got two locations.
Nah, one location.
One. Okay, I'm looking at your website. It says two, but that's all right.
Yeah, my bad. It's 858 Lakewood Road in Waterbury, right inside of Lifestyles.
Okay, so this is where I wanted to clarify with you guys. Now, Mr. Nice Guy Hydroponics it's been around for a while, right? I mean, a few years.
Yeah, Mr. Nice Guy's been in Statesboro, Connecticut. They've been around for, 13, 14 years?
Yeah, on that end of the state, you were like the go-to place if you needed, obviously maybe it wasn't legal back then, but if you needed grow supplies, that's where you went.
Yeah, those were the tomato days.
That's right, where you put tomatoes in the tents.
Yeah, those were tomato days.
I do remember that. So, so those are tomato days. You guys have been going, thriving, doing what you do in there. Have you seen an uptick in business since legalization has come in and people are actually allowed to grow legally now?
I mean, I think we've seen a big uptick in it, absolutely, because at the same time, we have a smoke shop inside the store, so we can kind of bounce off from the smoker side and kind of grab a couple extra customers, too.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about that. So Mr. Nice Guy was strictly a grow store for a while.
Yeah.
And then when did you guys partner up? You partnered up with Lifestyles, which was another company that was in business for a while. Am I correct?
Yeah, Lifestyles has been around, I think, 45 years, I want to say.
Right. I remember them from way back in the day. So Lifestyles has been around. Mr. Nice Guy has been around about 13, 14 years. You guys decided to pair up. So Lifestyles went in and bought or partnered up with Mr. Nice Guy. So now you got a pretty big operation over there, and you cover a bunch of different things besides just growing, right?
Yeah, we do a little bit all of the above. We have a great community down here. When it comes to growing, it's a bunch of growers. I mean, we have those networking days at the first Saturday of the month. Then Alex has the gathering of the growers on a Sunday.
So you do events over there. You do the gathering of the growers on Sundays, and then what do you do on Saturdays, like classes?
So the first Saturday of the month, we have the local community come down, talk about breeding their seeds. Just all the local guys that are going to be the upcoming stars eventually, I think.
Yeah, we hope so, right? This is what we want.
Yeah.
We want these guys who've been out there cultivating all these years, doing it, taking risks, honing their craft, finding the best way to do it for Connecticut, no less. Need to go, these people need to start looking at that community to hire them. I know a lot of people, these cultivators coming in, I know a lot of the new people will. They come in, they hire somebody from out of state because they worked at a big facility in Colorado or Massachusetts or whatever. They don't know the market. They don't know the strains that work here. Even now, I had a guy on last week, a couple weeks ago, was it? First outdoor cultivation licensed in Connecticut. And there's a lot of problems that go along with it. He was a local guy, but they brought him, started out in Connecticut. He went out in California and did all his things. Then he came back to Connecticut. I'd like to see guys like Alex, people like that, to come in and be actually either consultants or work with some of these cultivators to teach them what's going to work in Connecticut, because that's what's important. You guys know, you're out there, you talk to the people, you know what strains are popular, you know what people are growing.
I think once the micro cultivators start really bouncing in, we're going to start seeing, the real stuff coming through. Once they allow the micro cultivators getting some license, the local guys really be able to actually jump in.
I agree. And they did just recently change their laws to make the multi-cultivator a little bit more accessible. So let's see. Maybe some of us can put together some money and buy a license, right?
Absolutely.
Truthfully the micro cultivator license is not that expensive compared to the big cultivator license. You're talking $150,000 for that, whereas the other one is like 25 or 5,000, I believe. So you got a big difference, and you can get a decent canopy. I mean, you get a decent sized canopy as a micro cultivator.
I mean, we always promote too all the time. If you have a great team, you should have a great grow. A lot of these guys, like you're saying, are hiring guys right from the street, paying minimum wage, and hoping for that exotic bud.
And their head cultivators are not from here, so the strains that they're picking and the things that they're putting in definitely may not work for this market. And that's what people need to think about. That's why you got to hire local people. And you're right. They hire these local people at minimum wage. Some of them probably know more than the head cultivator.
Or some of them know nothing at all too at the same
right.
So,
yes.
But you know how it goes. You got three great people in a room. You got that one slacker. Eventually, after a while, you get tired of it. Then you start seeing rooms getting powdery mildew and going all to hell. So
and I was talking to, I think it was the same guy. They have all these controls at all these big cultivation facilities, the big four, right? All these humidity controls, you got to walk in there with a hazmat suit, blah, 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 the whole thing. How the hell do they still get powdery mildew? How are they still getting infected in these rooms that are supposed to be hermetically sealed? And you got, all this BS, but they're still having to put out product that gets remediated. Absolutely. I just don't understand that,
Growing weed's hard. I mean, everybody thinks they're going to come here grow that same exotic bud you're smoking. So that's a lot of times we see a lot of growers come in, think they're going to pop a cap and normal stuff.
Yeah, you do have to watch your grow, but I got to say, I get my cannabis through various sources. I've never had mildew in any of mine or mold. None of them, I've never had a problem with that, and never got sick from any of the weed I've ever gotten from, my cultivator friends or anything like that. So obviously these home cultivators know how to do it. Why can't the big cultivators do it?
Absolutely. That big scale is hard. Once you get that big scale, I think the micro growers are going to be
I think the micro got a better chance. Is that something you guys are interested in?
Oh, I mean, I think a lot of people, our customers, are interested in that. I mean, we have a lot of, vendors that come down where I think they're going to be the next big guys coming up.
Right. And these guys need a chance. They need an opportunity to show what they can do.
Absolutely. Got local guys got strains for years that they've been holding on to.
Right. Exactly.
Connecticut strains,
There's a lot of good talent out here that people, I run into, and these are local guys, all from Connecticut. You got guys like James Bong, Chef Bud, you got Metatron, you got all kinds of different people putting out genetic terpenes, all right here from Connecticut. I mean, you don't have to go online and buy your seeds from Atlas or wherever these other places are. You can get genetics from Connecticut genetic people. You've got gene traders, been doing it for years.
Sure.
Really high quality, top genetics right here from people in Connecticut, and that's who we should be supporting. You know, that's what we should be growing. Now we got somebody else on. Who's on now?
Sure. How you doing? I'm Nick. From
All right,
Mr. Nice
Nick.
Guy.
Now, Mr. Nice Guy, we've been talking about growing. What else do you got over there? I see you got tattoos, you got smoke shop, you got all kinds of different things
Even a
going
piercer.
on.
We have a piercer also.
A piercer.
Yeah, so it's a good hybrid. We have the grow store and we have the smoke shop with a piercer in the back. Yeah, the tattoo artist currently did leave lifestyle, so we are open for.
Are you looking for a new tattoo artist? I know
Sort
a
of.
few. Oh, there you go. Put out the word. If there's a good tattoo artist who wants to talk to these guys, go on up to Mr. Nice Guy and have a chat with them. But you got to be good, right? You only want a quality tattoo artist over there.
Like you guys were talking about the professional, the big business growers, and that's fine. But as long as Connecticut is allowing growers to grow their own, most of us don't really care how they're doing in the big business. I mean, they'll get it together eventually. There'll be ups and downs.
Well, that's always been my attitude, but you got to remember that's us. We have access. You know, I don't want to say unlimited, but we have access to really anything we want. I mean, I don't want to put this out on the air, but we do. Being in the community, being in the industry, we know people. But the average consumer, the person who's just, oh, maybe I should grow. They walk into a dispensary and they get freaking sticker shock. And they start saying, well, yeah, maybe I should grow, you know? Because, you know, for us, yeah, you're right. We don't worry about that. But the average consumer is who I worry about. You know, this is why I didn't go out there and fight for legalization for us. I did it for the people,
Right,
you know, and it's the average
right is right.
consumer who needs to know not only the benefits of the plant, but they need to know there are other options. You know, a lot of people are scared to grow. You know, I was till I tried it. Not only because of the legality, it used to be illegal, but you know, there's all these things out there that's so hard to do. You got to pay so much attention to them. You know, most people are used to gardening, right? To throw a tomato out there, a couple pepper plants, some basil, water it, and it's good, right? You know, but weed is different. People, it has that kind of reputation as it's a hard plant to grow. So do you find you have a hard time talking like new growers? Because for me, it's all about getting new people in to grow.
Right. Yeah.
Right? We
I
got
mean,
all these people already doing it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, my feeling on new growers right now, like they go to the internet and they come in and they want to be organic growers, and you know, organic is the way to go. But I just feel like as a beginner, I'm apt to put somebody into a little hydro setup first. I feel like it's more automatic. You're gonna have a higher chance for success at the end. You're gonna learn the plant and the growing lifestyle. And then once you get that down, then you can start going into organics. It's not that growing organically is tough, but getting a good, satisfying yield, missing a lot of, you know, hydro just avoids a lot of the problems.
Yeah, so what you're saying is
overwatering, underwatering, wind to water, things like that.
some of the pitfalls of growing in soil is obviously you kind of have to monitor the watering, like you say, the nutrients. You have to make sure it's what kind of soil you buy. Is it living soil? Is it organic? You know, all that kind of stuff. There is a lot that goes into it. So what you're saying is a small hydroponic setup for a new grower might be easier for them to maintain, thereby keeping them in the game. Like you're right. A lot of people go out, they try to grow in soil, and they have a crappy, you know, harvest, right, bugs, and they say, oh, screw this, I can't do it. I have a brown thumb, whatever. But what you're saying is maybe if you tried it this way, you don't have to pay as much attention. You just put in the right levels of nutrients, which is all pre-measured. You just put in, make sure the water's clean, all that. Hey, I don't know exactly the up and downs of hydroponics. You're going to tell me though. And
Yep.
and so you can get into that. How much does a small setup cost? How much does room does it take up? You know, compared to like just a light in a
Yep.
fan, maybe in a tent. What is
Yeah,
the
that's the thing about
difference?
hydro. It's a little bit more of a commitment out of the gate monetarily, but it does increase your chance for success. I mean, we sell I put together these little, everybody, knows about cloning aeroponically,
Yes.
but you can use those same techniques of aeroponics and do veg and flower. And I've been doing that since 2012. And
Now,
every now
what
and
is the
again, I try
difference?
something else. I'll try soil, cocoa, and it's fine. But I always end up going back to these little aeroponics boxes that I make. They're so easy. They're
Now, what
always a
is
success.
aeroponics compared to hydroponics? Is that with the fish?
Well, it's just a form of hydroponics. So aeroponics is the roots are hanging in oxygen and being
Oh.
sprayed by the nutrient water.
Oh,
The
so they're
form
not
of
sitting in
hydroponics.
it all the time.
Yeah.
So they
I
get
mean,
air.
yeah,
That's
uh,
aero.
half air. The boxes that I make, there is the roots do sit in water for a good portion of the time. So
But
it's
they
kind of like
also
a
air out.
hybrid arrow with a deep water, but it's been proven.
Now you say you make these boxes, so this is
Yeah,
something custom that you make over
yeah.
there, like an
It's just
easy
a
grow setup.
Rubbermaid storage container with a submersible pump and a little bit of plumbing parts and sprayers.
So that's an easy way for so you
Super easy.
yourself came up with a way because you own a grow store and you want more people to grow. You came up with a way where inexpensively, decent at a decent price, they can have their first home hydroponic setup. And then you
Exactly.
innovated that yourself because you saw a need and you
Yeah,
filled it.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, I mean, back in 2012 when we started growing, things were a little different, and I didn't like the idea of hauling soil into my home. So
Well,
it was a
sure.
hydroponics mindset.
Well, and that's good because there are many ways to grow. And you know, a lot of people, yeah,
Yeah,
they prefer soil. They want to grow outdoors and get the sun and all that. We know the laws in Connecticut,
yeah,
you know, kind of restrict that a little bit. So if you're going to do it indoors, you got options. You can buy a tent and a light and do it that way, or you can come down to Mr. Nice Guy, get a little small aquaponics setup, aeroponics setup, and
yeah.
probably little same price. Tent as a tent,
The
light.
prices like what? Yeah, yeah.
Let's say a
Oh
beginner
yeah, yeah.
setup of a
The boxes
tent
that I
and a beginner setup of your
got.
box.
So the smallest tent kit would be a 2x2 from AC Infinity, and that would cost you the site price, I believe, is 550 ish. And
And you
then
need
the
a
box
light.
is like 129. That comes with all the hardware, the light, the fans, the tent, the controller. So, and if you're going to do the hydroponics things that we set up, it would cost you probably about another 250 bucks. So you're getting started at $800.
Either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so, and you're saying like you're
They're in
buying it,
the,
and you guys are there obviously to support any new growers. 'Cause this is my thing, man. You know, make America green again. It's like we got to get out there
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
grow.
We're here 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
We got to get out there and grow. Do you sell any like vegetable plants and stuff like that too? I know a lot of the grow stores do that as well.
Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do vegetable plants. We didn't do any this year though.
No, just seedlings, right? Now, let me ask you guys a question. I saw the new laws and stuff like that, and I know they're changing the regulations around seedlings. Um,
Yeah.
is that something you guys are looking to get into as far as getting that license?
Um, Probably not.
No,
Probably
I'm
not.
trying to, you know, get a gauge from different growers as to is it worth it? You know, I think you have to buy a hemp farmer license,
I
and
mean, they've changed. Things change so slowly and often that I mean, I don't
I
gotta
think
let
we
the
just
dust
got to keep
settle, see
doing what
what
we're
the actual
doing, right?
rules.
We just got to keep doing what we're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, that's it.
We'll just keep selling supplies. I
That's
mean,
it, man.
somebody's
And
got to do
helping the
this and somebody's
people.
got to do that. We're starting doing supplies.
What they do with it after they leave your store is none of your business. But I think the good thing is you guys have support along to go with it. So it's not like if you go online, you go on Amazon, you buy a tent, you buy light, you go to Atlas, you buy some seeds, you go somewhere else and get some soil, um, and then you just try it yourself. You know, you get a little book, maybe you go on YouTube. There's a big difference because, and I even know myself as an amateur grower, there are certain little things that are out of the ordinary that can happen. Do you know what I mean? That you're not going to find in a book, some weird little thing, but that if you could bring it to a grower, somebody who's been doing it for years, they might have run into it before. They might have a solution for you that you might not get on the internet
Yeah, we
or
try to
in.
help out with that.
That's important, I think, is
That's a
this,
big part of what we do down here.
right? The support that comes along after you get them their initial setup. Because they're gonna, word of mouth, right? Hey, where'd you grow from? Where'd you get your stuff? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I got it from Mr. Knight. You want them to and say, and it was great. They took real good care of me. You know, and I got a great harvest my first time, and I'm going to do it next year too. That's what you want, right? Oh, I lost my guests. What happened? Oh, well, that was a great conversation too. I lost my guests. I'm going to check right now and see if they're coming back on. But they have not come back on. Anyway, so Mr. Nice Guy, they sound like a great place. I really like what they had to say, but they have not come back on. So I don't know. So anyway, I'm stuck here by myself without Uncle Lou to talk to. So let's talk about what they were talking about and the importance of growing here. So they have not come back on yet. I do not know where they are. I am looking to get them um, right now. So anyway, let's talk about the importance of growing. I had a great time this weekend at the Burn and Learn Festival in Shelton this weekend. It was a really awesome time. Probably one of the better ones I went to. Creamery Station was there. Uh, they put on an awesome set, and we had a good time. A lot of vendors out there. A lot of people showed up. It was a blast. I ran into an interesting character up there. It's a funny story. Um, there is a member of the Burn and Learn community who appears in drag, and they are doing a show, I believe, on July the 12th in Bridgeport. Are my guests back?
Hey, brother,
Yes.
just checking back.
Oh, there we are. All right, good.
Yeah, my bad. We
I was
apologize.
losing it. I understand technology. All right.
Yeah, man.
We're talking about new growers and how important it is to get new growers and how you guys support the growers once they come in and get the equipment. You're with them all along the way. If they need any advice, they can come down first
I mean,
Saturday or
it's said the
Sundays.
same thing too, where we have the same community. It's like they'll be down here too, doing our job for us. So they'll give them their intake on how their experience was. So
Well,
they give us the
that's what I was
community.
saying, right? You want good word of mouth
Yeah,
out
and then
there.
the same thing about their grow advice too. A lot of these guys got their own growing advice. How Crop Salt, Athena, Fox Farms. So for us, it's so much easier to say, hey, go talk to this guy over here. He's doing Fox Farms. So how's his experience? Like
Well,
Nick,
that's
he's
what
a
I'm
hydro
doing,
guy.
Fox Farms.
I'm
All
a
right.
soil guy, so I'm more loyal to the soil, so I try to do the, whole organic way for vegging, and then I switch over synthetic for my flowering.
And see, that's good advice for somebody to know that not only over there, it's called Mr. Nice Guy Hydroponics, but you cover both. You do both.
Yeah,
You want to
yeah.
grow
Like I said, we
soil?
have, and not just that, we have a smoke, the smoker side. They're experts on your bong smoking stuff, devices. We have the two girls in the back piercing all the time. So, like I said, we have a great community here. We're always pulling in a new community down here. We're always trying to, promote
It's like a
the
place
local
to hang
persons
out.
down here.
It's almost
Yeah,
like a place to
absolutely. That's
hang
how
out,
lifestyle kind
right?
of always been. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
You
mean,
sell
John, with
coffee and
lifestyles, you always
stuff
have
down
to
there?
hang out.
You
Huh?
might as, you sell coffee and drinks and stuff. You might as well.
I mean, we had a espresso guy down here doing his espresso thing. Brass Coffee was down here with coffee and stuff. So
Yeah, so it's kind of like this thing on Saturdays is kind of like
yeah,
a networking event. It happens once a month.
absolutely.
You can just
Yeah,
stop down and meet the people, right? If you're in the
yeah,
Waterbury, or even if you're not. But your area, I think you guys are really the only grow store down there. Am I correct in the Waterbury Wolcott area?
absolutely. Metatron's the closest one to us. So
But that's Meriden. That's
yeah,
far
Meriden.
up.
Yeah, so we're good. Like I
That's
said, we all help each other out too. If we don't got something, we're all sending someone back and forth. So we're all
well,
a
that's what
team.
I like. I've noticed that amongst the grow store community that you guys do all communicate with each other, and there's really not a lot of competition. Only because, and I don't know if this was done purposely or not, but of the locations seem to be spread out very well across different areas of the state where they aren't really taking customers from each other. Do you know what I mean? And I love that the way it got set up that way because we had for
A lot of
years.
times too, we see a lot of like egos kill people too. Like people come
Mm.
in here with their egos, and it scares people away. Down here, we invite anybody in. At the same time, if you're going to come down with egos and scare people away, you kind of won't be invited anymore too. At the same time,
Yeah, that ego thing
we're
is
all kind of community.
it's very interesting to me. I see that as one of the things that has torn the cannabis community kind of apart is when you come in thinking you're better than anyone else, your genetics are the best, and I think if you have to brag like that and then you have something to prove, and I think you probably don't have the best genetics in the world.
And at the end of the day, you need a community to keep coming through. I think we have a great community at Mr. Nice Guys. They're constantly coming. Sometimes we have an event list that we're supposed to call out to say we have events, and we always
Yeah,
have
please
outgoing
do
coming through.
send me all your stuff, and I will promote it on the air every week, every month, every time you have a meetup and stuff. I will promote it on the air. Well, I do the events at the beginning of the show every month, every week, so I will add that in there as long as you. I just need a reminder. I'm a little.
Yeah, like I said, most of us, most of them are the 203 Smoker Club. So come down here, enjoy everybody down here. Like I said, great people down here. You know, Anarchy Farms is down here, Full Spectrum, Pressure Gardens. So
Oh,
we
okay.
got Sea Dog is down here all the time.
Oh,
So
so
they're always giving. We have all around. We have your crafts going on, your coffee people. So it's all around thing. Like it's bring the community together,
I'm
show
gonna
us what
bring
you
up.
got.
I'm gonna
It's like
come up.
a little tax sale, once a month basically.
When's the next one?
It's gonna be coming up July 5th, right after the 4th of
Oh,
July.
right after there's nothing going on this weekend either.
Yeah.
All right, I got some T-shirts I might want to sell.
You gonna come down to the table?
I will, yeah. I'll let you know because I don't know what I'm going to do this 4th of July weekend, but I don't think I have any plans, and that sounds like it might be fun.
Hey, real quick, I want to get Alex a little shout out here.
Yeah, we
does
haven't heard from him.
Yeah, he does a gathering of the gardeners on the Sundays. So he's the freaking guy. We got him into growing, and he's been kicking ass as he's been going. So let get a little shout out.
Where is he, Alex?
Hey,
All right, give a shout out to Alex. Say a couple words to the peeps. Matter of fact, you tell us how we can reach you.
I'm always here on the weekends. I'm here every Sunday. I run the smoke side mostly, but they got me into growing once they moved in. I've been doing it for about a year and a half now. I've gotten some pretty good ratings on our THC tester. I'm all in hydro now. I tried both ways, but as Nick said, getting a new grower in, the hydro keeps us going.
Right. And like we talked about before, same cost, you know, and you might get a better yield. So I think it's important for people to explore both sides of the growing. And even, I mean, have you heard of what's the one with the fish? Is that have you seen that one where the fish are in the water feeding the plants, aquaponics or something?
Oh yeah, I sat there. I just went through a huge tour when I went down to Florida because they had that at Epcot and Disney.
They did that, but it
Yeah,
wasn't for
that's
weed.
how they grow their stuff.
Not weed though, right?
No, it's just regular like vegetables and stuff.
Interesting. That's a cool way to incorporate Mother Nature in all areas, not only living, but with actually living beings. So, Eric, you got the gathering of the growers on Sundays, every
Yep,
Sunday.
that'll be the no, that's the 17th this month or in July.
17th of this month of July, the gathering of the growers. You got that
Yep.
coming on. Send me a little info on that, and I'll promote that on the air too. We got a couple minutes left. Why don't you tell us all the info about how people can reach you, your website, your social medias, your address, everywhere, everything you got going on.
So we're mostly just here.
So 858 Lakewood Road, Waterbury.
He's smarter on this than I am.
Right
Okay.
inside of Lifestyles. You can't miss us. We're right across from Planet Fitness. We're the store with all the graffiti all over it.
Right, I see that. Here's your website. I shared that earlier. But yeah, so come on down. What's your social media handles so people could follow you?
Shop CT, nice guy.
Or Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah. I think the Mr. Nice Hydro is the old one. I think it's Mr. Nice Guy CT or something like that. I'll send you all the stuff.
All right, and then you're on Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, and that's about it. I do I post the events through the walls. I'll post them on Instagram, on Facebook. And like I said, the first Saturday of the month is our networking day. And then Alex usually picks a Sunday out of the month to do his gathering of the growers.
And you got that the 17th. Well, I encourage people to come down and visit you. Sounds like you got a really cool place to hang out, you know, and just enjoy the company of other people. I know a lot of people you mentioned are a member of the Burn and Learn community.
Too, yeah, absolutely.
Yep, they were down there. Some of the guys you mentioned were actually at our event this weekend. We had a great time down there. Or maybe you guys could come down to one too. I think Lifestyles
Absolutely.
would be great. You know, I don't know what the rules and regulations are, but to do some piercings might be cool. You know, or something.
Yeah, we got two girls, Maggie and Anna. They do great piercings. You know, they're always willing to work things with you too. So if
if you do mobile stuff,
to
yeah,
do a deal.
Yeah, you should come out to some of the events and all that stuff you have. Like, I'm sure you got some really cool pipes and stuff in the smoke shop. That stuff, it's very important to get out there, showcase into the community, and let them know you're there.
Yeah.
Because
we're down for sure. We'll probably look into it. Like I said, we got the smoking guns. You know, we have all the accessories you need. All the girls got all the piercing needs. We got all the grow needs you need. The only thing we don't do is, sell THC on site over here. You know, a lot of dudes come in, and that's what they do. We got a lot of walkers coming in, always asking us if we sell flower. We're probably the only shop in Waterbury, though. You know.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we talked about that at the beginning of the show and the new laws. I'm glad to see that you are not participating in that. Because
it's not worth it.
No, for me, I think it really brings down the industry, and it's really a black eye to what.
I mean, Lifestyles has been around for so long. You know, we have a great community, and I think everybody already has their own, like you said, their own network.
You don't have to do that, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. As a smoke shop, you don't need to do that, you know.
No. But we're a grow shop and a smoke shop, and
you're teaching people how to do it on their own. That's more important.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate that. That is good to know that you guys are not doing that because it keeps you safe.
It just gets annoying too when people come in and they're always trying to shake you for your grow. We don't do that down here, you know. So,
dude, here they actually try to offer it to you.
Yeah.
Even if you're going in just to buy papers.
Yeah. I mean, we actually do weed testing too, THC testing for $10. You can bring your buds down here. Within 2 minutes, we'll have a test for for you. It'll be THC, CBD, and your moisture content.
All right, that's excellent to know. Very, very cool. All right, guys, we're out of time. So great talking to you. I really appreciate it. I want to encourage everybody to go down and check out Mr. Nice Guy and Lifestyles down there in Waterbury. Make sure you go check them out. And they got a lot of good stuff going on, and you will see them out there in the community.
Hey,
But
can
I am. Go
we get
ahead.
one more shout out really quick just for
Do
Johnny
it.
and Lee, the owners of Lifestyles, because I mean they're the ones that let us do all the cool shit down here. So
All right, Johnny and Lee from Lifestyles. Thank you very much for teaming up with Mr. Nice Guy and expanding their business.
yeah, appreciate it, bud. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
guys, it was awesome having you on, and I hopefully will make it down on July the 5th.
Definitely. We hope to see you.
All right, man, take care. Harry, we're ready to roll.
All right, later, bud.
All right, take care. All right, you can follow me at Joe the Weed Guy on Instagram and Facebook, or Greenhaven Media on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you check out our YouTube page and subscribe. We will see you next week on July the 7th. We've got a great guest coming up from the Elevate and Thrive. We'll talk to you then, everybody. Remember, make America green again. Grow your own. I love you.